Okay. Hello, Artverse. This is Rachel. I'm the founder of the Artverse, and today we have Regina on the call or video. I'm very, very excited to introduce another Lens Lady, collaborative female photographer. And yeah, let's get started. Regina, hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Can't complain. It's really nice out here. Summer weather.
It looks
Probably a
so
little bit.
clean over there.
I know. I was gonna say probably a little warmer than where you are.
A little bit. It's actually really chilly here in Iceland.
Mm. No, I don't do well in the cold, so I'll take the warmth.
Which is actually funny because most of the images I have seen from you have been of very non-dressed females. So I would assume you're in warm places. Do you want to explain what kind of photography you do?
I guess most people sum it up to like evocative, ethereal um, portraiture. I guess it's like this fine art mixture of a lack of clothing, nudity, but not always nude. But I do tend to lean to the mythical, mystical, magical side of things. Um, so fine art portraits with a hint of moody magic.
So, what is the difference, in your opinion, of fine art portraits versus just more of the boudoir setting imagery
Um,
or nude photography, even that? We're just going to
I
delve right
mean,
in.
so I come from. I kind of think it for me. I come from a background of um, storytelling. I did and still do a ton of books. I'm in the publishing industry quite a bit, quite heavily. And so obviously coming from the book nerd in myself, I I always need to add something to my photographs. Sometimes you can see it and sometimes you can't. So some people are just straightforward like nude photographers and I add things. Um, I do have some straightforward. I tend to play a lot. I'm inspired by a lot, but a lot of my work is adding some sort of ethereal touch to my nude portraitures or uh, evocative work in some capacity. It's not just straight out of the camera or color toned.
So do you mainly work a lot in Photoshop then? Like a lot of what you create is created in post?
Um, it's probably about 75%. I do go through huge productions to to create the image in the pose and the depth of field that I want. Most of my work does have some sort of element that's added in Photoshop, um, but I still get very inspired by nature. So sometimes it's not always. But I am very familiar with Photoshop just given my background. Lightroom and Photoshop. Color toning is really huge for me, so I do a lot of that in Lightroom.
I mean, every single piece I have ever seen from you has been exquisite and just absolutely flawless in its execution. No, seriously, it has been so incredible seeing your work. Every time I see an image, I immediately know it is from you. It has like your magic touch of editing to it. It's so clean. It's just visually enticing. Um, yeah, I could gush on it all day. um,
That's good to know that I have a recognizable style.
no,
That's
you
good because
absolutely do.
sometimes as artists we tend to like be like, do I even have a style? Do I have a brand? Am I recognizable? I don't know, but that's good to hear. I'll take it.
Take it because you really do. And I don't just say this because I love your work. I say this because in the beginning of NFTs, when I came in, I saw your work and I was like, wow, she's amazing. But you know how some artists have like only a few pieces that are good. Um, I kept on seeing more and more work from you, and I was just like blown away every single time. And then you showed me a few sneak peeks of the images of the project you're working on right now, um, and some of the images that were featured in NFT New York, which congratulations, by the way.
Thank
And I was just like, yes, of course, this is Regina's work. Um,
you. Thank you so
so,
much.
what did you do before, I should say, NFTs? We'll start there. We'll start pretty soon.
I mean, so like I previously stated, NFTs isn't my full-time um, thing. It's starting to kind of like take over. So I imagine within the next year, I'll probably be full-time into NFTs or at least into Web3 completely. Um, so for about 13 years now, I've owned my own business in the graphic design industry, doing and serving the publishing industry, doing book covers and book cover photography and stuff like that. Like clients are like big six publishing houses and Amazon and stuff like that. So I've been taking photographs and doing book cover work for them using a lot of the work that you see now as kind of that base inspiration for people. So I've seen a lot of my work inspire actual stories, and these stories then turn into books, and these books then turn into like fandoms, and it's pretty cool to see. It's wild. So it's very exciting for me to see, you know, this transition where I'm inspiring others in this industry as well.
That's incredible. Do you want to share any of those titles, like book covers? Or are you kind of like, going to keep that?
Ooh, there's it. It's hard to keep track. I've done probably well over 10,000 novels in the last 13 years. So it's hard to keep track which ones were actually inspired. Um, I do have a photograph that went viral, and it's kind of being stolen on Pinterest right now, but that one definitely inspired quite a few novels. As you can see, my art is actually stolen for a lot of novels on Pinterest. Um, so there's that. He's my Cruel Prince, and he kind of went nuts, and everyone wanted to use him for the character and the book cover art. And um, so yeah, if you just look that up, you'll find lots of inspiration.
So, wait, can you just briefly tell me how did you get into that? Like into, creating book covers for people? Like that seems like such a niche specific job.
It it really is so niche. So basically, I I became a really big reader, um, just like when I was in my 20s, early 20s. And I just was devouring books. So I got laid off from my graphic design job, and this is what kind of sparked this transition into um, the book cover world. So I got laid off from my job. I was doing recycling graphics for a refrigerator recycling company, and it was very not exciting at all, but I did it. So in the economy downturn of 2008, 2009, I got laid off, and I was pregnant at the time with my kid. And basically at that time it was like, well, no one's going to hire a pregnant lady in the downturn of the economy, so I'm going to start my own business. And in the time of like, hey, I don't have enough business to do anything, I'm actually just going to read. And so the reading then turned into, well, I like this imagery is inspiring art from me, so I'm going to go and create art based on what I see. And so I went on to DeviantArt, and I started talking to people there and sharing my art, and going on to Goodreads, which is a forum to like actually talk with people that are reading books and sharing my art there. And some of them were writers, and then the writers then got in touch with me and they're like, hey, I'm writing a book. And then snowball 13 years later. Yeah, I was self-taught photographer, self-taught book cover designer with the graphic design degree. But that wasn't, the degree never really gave you the Photoshop skills to actually like composite. It was more like, hey, you could probably make logos and some like billboards, some refrigerator recycling graphics. So I'm mostly self-taught and quite a bit.
That's so incredible. Like, to me, that blows my mind away from, I don't know, I just always thought you were, you studied photography, you did photography all the time. So why did you pick up a camera when you were making your book covers? Because, not every cover is a photograph. Like, some people draw or do like more digital art.
So when I think back, people have asked me this question. People like, I think back and I'm like, oh my God, I've been interested in photography for so long. I took it in high school. I did the darkroom. I did film. And it kind of like, even with my own like graduation money from high school, I took my money and got a film camera. So it was a natural transition for me to start taking pictures. And then of course, when you're a photographer, you have a lot of people who are like, will you take my senior photos? Will you take my wedding? Will you take my baby? So I did all of that. And then when I got into the transition of book covers, I couldn't really afford to buy stock, but I had a camera. So I was like, well, I know a bunch of high schoolers and, I could throw them some few dollars and we could just, I'll go and make the poses and stuff that I don't have or can't afford to buy. And so I would create my own stock eventually, like essentially. And then, if you also look in stock imagery, there really is no diversity whatsoever. And so I had complete control of being able to hire, hey, I need an African American witch, or I need an Asian dystopian model for this dystopian novel. So it gave me control to actually show off diversity without having to rely on stock sites, which doesn't have anything, especially for the book world.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So this theme of incorporating diversity in your art, do you find that as well in your photography now with NFTs?
Absolutely. It's actually quite a huge forefront idea for me, just because I have a blended family. So I always want to make sure that my kids feel represented in and like my husband's culture and just having a full range of beauty because we are such a diverse planet. Why not show off how diverse and beautiful we are? And you really see a lack of like magical, ethereal work with diverse models as well, or diverse people, human beings. And so I really wanted to make sure that one, representation, and then two, that these people that I'm hiring to be in these portraits also feel that sense of magic that we all kind of connect with either through childhood or storytelling or movies or books. So it's just a huge inspiration to make sure that I bring beauty to the world in whatever capacity I can.
That's amazing. So you do book covers and you do NFTs. So do you also hold sessions for people? Like, can people book you for their own ethereal moments?
I keep getting this question, so I'm guessing that that's going to be happening soon. I was so busy with book cover things that I never really took the time to open up the doors for custom sessions. But that keeps coming up. So yeah, that's coming soon then.
Not gonna lie, I'm like, oh my gosh, sign me up.
She's like, me first.
Me.
It's me first.
Just
Well, I
out
know. I've
buy
always
your
wanted to
NFT.
come to Iceland, so
It's a great place. It's very magical.
it's so magical. So, so magical. Oh my gosh. I need to be there.
It would be great to have you over here. Wow. So that's a I I love hearing your process and your journey to your art, especially the art I've seen specifically. What got you into NFTs? Like, I know you kind of brushed upon it, but what really got you here, and what has kept you here? You said you might transition more into Web3.
Um, so I have a friend. Her name is Chelsea Evenstar, and um, her husband, David Aryev. Um, they are kind of staples in the community. And I've known Chelsea for like over 10 years now, and she actually comes from the book world. So we've known each other for a long time. Her husband got into it. And so she kind of took the initiative to get all of her fine art friends in the photography community. And so she kind of helped me like understand what it was, what we were doing here, and what keeps me here. Honestly, I never really had artist friends, um, photographer friends, artist friends. This honestly, the community is what keeps me here. It's just so amazing. I have met so many random, amazing, incredible artists since coming in here last March, I think is when I minted my first piece. I've met so many different collectors and their backgrounds, and honestly, like it's one thing that I've always said about photography too, is that you get to connect with so many different people. And I'm naturally an introvert, but when I do go out and extrovert, I just love talking to people, like actually like getting to know people and conversing and getting to know their stories. And that has really started to happen, especially with these in real life events now, where you can talk one-on-one with people and get to know their story and understand like what inspires them. It's just so much fun. I freaking love it.
So you were at NFT New York City, right?
Yes.
How was that?
Crazy. It was chaos, absolute chaos. I don't know that I actually slept. Maybe like a full 12 hours the whole week I was there. It was just insane. You would wake up like every day and you would just be going, 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 going. And New York City is literally like, and I just stayed in Manhattan. Like I didn't even get to like explore outside of that because it was so much chaos. There was so many events. I was making sure that I was able to see my work, but then also support others and take the photos for them because some of them couldn't make it. So it was just a lot of going and networking and talking and exploring and um, meeting up with people that live across the world and having lunch with them and making jokes and taking selfies. Just a lot of good times.
I FOMO'd so hard. Like
It
an
was pretty
introvert,
sad.
I was like, "Oh, I don't need to meet people. I don't need to go." And then I was
It
watching, I
was
was like,
so worth it.
"Oh."
It was worth it. It was definitely worth it. Highly recommend coming. I think Art Basel in Miami is next, or maybe London, but I know that's not very far from you. You could probably do that. Um,
Maybe,
my
maybe.
sister-in-law lives in England, so I could probably go there.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm gonna give you a little break, and I'm gonna share a few screen shares of your work. And if you wanna say a few things, you can, but obviously, I'm just gonna gush about them.
I'm just
Um,
gonna blush over here.
it's fine, you're not gonna be able to see yourself. Okay, so if everyone can see that, I'm going to go to your Twitter page and just look how gorgeous you look, but also just everyone give this woman a follow. Seriously, you're never going to regret it. And your feed's just going to be filled with glorious, beautiful pieces of art like this one. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's a painting. Like, what is the story going on here? Like, what is
Okay, so I don't share this very often, but I work pretty intuitively. So I had this really weird, just slap in the face kind of thought idea that hit me one day, and I just sketched it really quick in my notepad, and I have these sketches that I went to with my models, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to do this? You have to be comfortable showing nudity. But I just said, I have these ideas of these different realms that I want to take people to, um, and these realms are basically where you would go if you could potentially just say, I need a wish, I need a dream, I need love, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you would go to these different realms and be able to actually come out with something. And so, of course, in my head, it's got the magical, ethereal touch, while also playing with diversity and body positivity, because we are all types of bodies, and we are all types of cultures and backgrounds. So the one got selected for Life magazine, which she already was sold, and then my Moonflower, which is the blue in the banner, that also went home last week to a collector. And this green one is coming soon. So in this green one, she's the realm of dreams.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on those past two sales. That's incredible. I am not surprised that someone scooped those up real quick.
Actually, I was really surprised. So yeah, I'm just, yep, surprised, humbled
I'm
and
gonna
surprised.
keep showing more of your work because it's so good. Okay, so we have your Twitter, obviously, but then I went to your LinkedIn and I just pulled up a couple of your different profiles because you are on quite a few platforms and I love it. We have Known Origin here. Is this your banner, Moonflower?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
oh, so beautiful. And then this one, incredible as well. I love everything about this image. And then we have Prism NFTs. Well, let's see if my page will load. Will you load?
No. Thank you, Wi-Fi. Appreciate you so much.
I know, right? It's just too beautiful.
Yes.
Loading. Ooh. Oh, these are great.
Thank you. Those ones are actually underwater portraits that I made,
Oh, wow.
because when you are sitting underwater, everything moves really, really slowly, and it's very ethereal, and it's super gorgeous. And it's like time moves differently, and it's just, I don't know, it feels very weightless. And so I wanted to create a very weightless, cosmic series of underwater portraits that go.
This is just utterly breathtaking. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. I love them so much, my pretties.
So, do you do underwater portrait work like this a lot, or was this more of a unique shoot?
Um, it was, it was, um, it was definitely planned. There's always hiccups when it comes to underwater, because it's such it's one of the most difficult things that I do personally. Um, and I wish I did it more often. But I only do it probably 2 to 3 times a year.
Oh wow, this one, this ethereal light, eternal light,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
that's my eternal. That's one of my, probably my most favorite pieces.
Wow.
I actually have separation anxiety because it's one of my favorites. And by God, I will tell you that this photo is a very happy accident, because my female model had never modeled underwater before, and God love her, she struggled that day, but we got very beautiful photos out of that whole session.
Wow, seriously, like the delicate sort of love that you see right here, that is just captured is gorgeous.
with just that small touch of magic.
Mhm. I just love the lighting of it too. So this one's quite different. Ooh, we have another guy. Hello.
Aha.
Great. I'm gonna go to this one. Um, do you photograph men a lot, like for your book covers or for your art?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My realms will actually feature men as well.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
oh yeah, diversity, all of it. I like dudes.
I mean, I think dudes are beautiful, and I love seeing their bodies in art. You just don't see it as often. Also,
I
this.
know, and I wish they would sell as often as I feel like they should.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, I'm gonna remove that. Yeah. So you said you are having a some males in your realm collection that's coming up.
Yes. So I have one that's coming up that is I have quite a few. So there's one that's not quite finished yet, but that one will be like passion, and then another one will be like love. Um, so and then we'll see where the other ones take us. I won't go quite into detail because they're still in raw format, but I have them like there's going to be like shadows and darkness and stuff like that. That's going to be a representation of different shadow selves and stuff like that.
So when you're either creating NFTs or photographs or book covers, do you take inspiration from mythologies?
Oh yeah, I mean my Poseidon, the one that you just pulled up, he was the beginning of my Thread of the Gods series, and that was all based on different gods and goddesses. Not necessarily Greek or Roman, but definitely from mythology and historical um, beginnings, backgrounds.
Okay. More fun question. If you could be photographed in one of your creations, what, just right on the spot, what would your image that you want yourself to be in describe it?
Ooh, I have an obsession with snakes, so I'd probably just want to be like either underwater or I would be like a badass goddess with snakes. So Medusa's got a bad rep, so I don't know if I would be Medusa, but definitely need to have like some spin of snakes. You see snakes show up a lot in my work, so I think they're just really powerful and they represent a lot of amazing things, but they just get a lot of bad reps. So, oh,
Sorry.
oops.
That's incredible. So in the snakes in some of your pieces, are those real snakes that the models were modeling with?
Yes,
Really? They were just so
yes.
perfectly placed and moving, like, oh my gosh.
Luck of the draw. Honestly, just yeah, I have snake handlers, so they come and they help like make sure that they're they're chill and my Medusa that you saw on Foundation, she that was her first time working with snakes. And there's just so many different stories when you're working with animals that there's a lot of outtakes, and it was quite funny because the one snake wanted to keep wrapping up in her hair and then looping its tail and body through the earring, so it was pulling down on the earring, and her hair was up, and the body of the snake was just getting tangled, and it was by luck that we were able to get good shots coming out with something.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I now really want to see the self-portrait of you with snakes. I think this should happen.
I think this should happen. But now I'm going to have to like wrangle a camera and snakes by myself. That'd be a feat.
I think you're a superwoman. I think you're superhuman. I think it can happen.
Anything could happen. Actually, you know what? I do need a new profile picture. So she just gave me good ideas.
Yay, yay. um, well, I think we should wrap this up pretty soon. But I did want to show the Lens Lady image that you have that I slightly animated. Um,
Yes.
it's an Artverse project that is with 8 other females, and 8 female photographers gave me their images. I animated a tiny little part of it, but it's really you guys' creations. So I'm going to share that image here. It's on the Artverse project website under the Lens Lady tabs. And we had Tina this morning with her interview, and then we have this beautiful fallen lovers image. I think it's a little blurry right now, but obviously the NFT is more, what do you call it? More high definition. We have water moving, we have the smoke kind of here, really beautiful. And then, of course, you had picked the charity to invest 20% back into the NFT art community. Um, I really love what you said here. To those who may need a boost of confidence that their art matters. Can you explain why you said that?
I think a lot of artists attach themselves to sales as confidence, that their artwork and what they're doing matters. We shouldn't, but we do. Um, I feel like a lot of people lose confidence in themselves or their purpose when it's not necessarily that a sale needs to happen, but it definitely helps monetarily as well. Um, Giving that confidence is such a boost to help them keep creating. And that is what it's all about for me. It's just like, let's keep making art. And if that's a boost of confidence for you, I am all for it. And every sale that I make, I try to give back that same way to give them that boost of confidence. It did happen to me where there was an artist that was like, I just don't think this is the right place for me, and I think I'm gonna just give up, give out, and just leave. I don't think I'm cut out for this. And I bought his Genesis, and to this day, he's still here making art, and it matters. It really does. He's got incredible work, and I'm happy to see it.
Oh, that's so beautiful because you're right. We put so much of ourselves in our art when it doesn't have any financial or social, proof that it is as valuable as we hold it to ourselves. It's hard.
It
Absolutely, it's
is really hard.
hard.
It
But
does, but it does give you a boost of confidence that, like, oh, people are watching, do like my art, people do. And it sometimes, it, the stars just need to align with the right people or the right place, right time. And as much as we shouldn't put confidence in a monetary value, because as artists we create art because we literally can't not do it. That boost of confidence is huge for a lot of people around the world. And so here I just want to boost confidence and say, you know what, it does matter, you matter, and your art is badass.
all art matters. Absolutely. Art matters no matter where
So
you
much
are.
more than people put out into. I'm like, your car, that matters, your house, that matters, the movies you watch, that matters. I mean, all of these things were made by artists, so yeah, heck yeah, it matters.
Yeah, even in the medical field, even in law school, like it matters
Art
everywhere.
is everywhere. Yep. So let's keep making it matter. Give
So
give people the confidence.
absolutely, absolutely. So on this topic of art is everywhere, there's this topic when I first came into this NFT space of scarcity. Um, what are your thoughts on that term within the NFT space?
That's a good question. Um, I think it really depends on the artist themselves. Um, I have both editions and I have one of ones. Um, I think it depends on the artist on how you want to represent yourself, and don't let anybody else deter you on what your goals are. If you want to create art that's just one of ones 4 times a year, so be it. And if you want to be the artist that has editions and you put out art 17,000 times a year, you go do that as well. Scarcity is up to the artist, in my opinion.
I would agree. Absolutely. Like it really doesn't matter how much you put out as long as I believe if it's good.
Yes, I'm like, so long as you're there, you stand behind it, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So last question before I let you go back to your family and all of that. If you could give a person who is coming into the NFT space right now a piece of advice, what would you tell someone right now?
Hmm. Hands down, take care of yourself. The NFT space moves really fast, and you can very easily get so sucked in that you forget about your mental health, your physical health, um, and you can reach burnout way faster. Um, and then, of course, if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you create art that feels as good as you want it to feel if you're always in a state of exhaustion? I did it to myself and landed in the hospital, so I highly recommend that you take care of yourself.
Do you want to just share something that has helped you find a balance between and those boundaries for yourself?
I shut off notifications in my Twitter, all my social media actually. I shut off notifications so I don't get a message ping when you call me, when you like message me. I don't get it. I have to go in and check manually. And I don't, I, I make sure that my bedtime routine is definitely shut off at a certain time. And then, of course, I take care of myself with meditation, yoga, exercise, getting out in nature, and finding enough sleep and balance to make sure that. And when I feel like out of balance, it's a good reminder to get back into, like, oh, you need to go for a walk. Oh, you need to go for a swim, or you need to go sit your booty down in the freaking grass. I don't know. Go get one with nature and just be with your family, or be by yourself, or read a freaking book. You don't need to be in front of a computer all the time. And I find that when you do go find that balance, is that inspiration actually comes a lot easier.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also have a follow-up question. I'm sorry. It just
You're
reminded
fine. Just keep going.
I just love all your answers, so I just want you to keep talking. So you're in the publishing realm. Where do you see or do you see a future in NFT books?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'm just waiting for the day that the publishing industry pops in, because the amount of fandom that is created in the book or the writing industry is huge. It's absolutely insanely huge. And books inspire movies all the time. So you're literally going to have this link from owning a piece of a book or owning a small quantity of a book, and then that can bleed into like character cards and collectibles and maybe potentially a part of a movie or TV series. Like it's insane, the possibilities. So yeah, I do absolutely see a future, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting, like the fiend that I am.
And would you still be interested in creating essentially book covers for these NFT books?
I'm open. I'm open to creating art. So in whatever form that comes, I will take it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I did buy one of the first like sci-fi novels on the blockchain, and sure, there's like 100 editions of it. And at that time, like no one did 100 editions, but it's a book. I'm like,
Right.
100 editions of a book is tiny.
Right.
And to me, it's like it's forever minted on this blockchain technology, and I have a first edition. Like, I don't know, like I didn't pay
Yep.
that much money for it, a little bit more than what a normal book costs, but it's still nothing, in my opinion, to what its value is down the line.
Right. And just imagine that spinning into, collectibles and character cards and meet and greets in real life events, movies, TV series. Like, I mean, it's just the possibilities are really endless. And you have an edition of 100, so that literally just increases its value. So huge, huge.
Yeah, I'm so excited as well for when authors come in, because I think it will be such a popular sector of the NFT world.
Yeah, yeah, yep. We're gonna bring in a lot of book nerds, and I'm here for it. I'm
Well,
here for it.
you're here right now, and I am incredibly thankful for that. So thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Regina.
for having me. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I'm a big fan, so
No, I'm a big fan. Stop it.
shh, we'll be big fans together.
Okay. It's hot in here.
Are you blushing?
No, it's dark. You can't tell. I'm Asian.
You guys get to see everything of mine. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Everyone else, go follow Regina. Say hi. She is a badass. She's also a wonderful hype woman, and she's connected to so many beautiful, beautiful souls in this community as well, because she attracts what she is. So thank you, Regina. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, love. Thank you. I appreciate it.